Here we go!
Hey, what's up? Welcome to this week's College Gamer Podcast. I'm Alex. This is episode 3. I am extremely tired because we're recording this on a Thursday night, and this is probably going to be posted on Friday, so if it's a little bit dated, well, I'm sorry. Let me go ahead and introduce who we got talking to you tonight. On my left here, we got Nicholas Tudor again. He's from Nick Stins Productions on YouTube, so check that out.
Look him up.
On my right... I have Logan Sowers. He's there, and he's always here.
He's there, he's square, get used to it. How's it going, people?
And straight ahead of me, we have the Superman to my Batman, Chris Harkins. How you doing, Chris?
I'm good. I'm not sure what that means, what you just said, but I like it.
It means
The Superman versus Batman. It's huge.
It makes me feel important, so I'm all for it. So glad to be here, Alex.
Okay.
It means you're better than he.
You are the mermaid man to his barnacle boy.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Okay.
The mystery of his crabs.
So how you guys feeling tonight? Tonight, whatever time it is.
I'm feeling pretty good.
I'm pretty tired. It's been a hell of a week. As any week with college gamers, since we are college gamers, minus one of us. I mean, there's a lot of college work that is just tiring. What about you guys? Are you guys enduring this last run in the semester?
Amen, brother.
What is school? All I know is PlayStation.
That's what I'm saying.
All I know
This is college gamer.
That's all.
Somebody
I know
read
is
the briefing.
All I know is PlayStation. I love that.
While I drink an Mountain Dew can with Xbox One written on it.
We're trying to stay bipartisan here, drinking Mountain Dew cans that have Xbox One on it. So, whatever works. Nick,
Win a free Xbox One.
Nick, you're in high school on a college gamer podcast.
Is that a problem?
Well, this is the 3rd episode. Why are you still here?
He gets really
I
good
love
grades.
games just as much as any of you.
Exactly. So, without further ado...
I thought that was a legitimate question, like I was actually, why am I here?
So...
It's the question that everybody asks themselves at least one point in their life.
Why is this guy here?
Why am I here?
Why is Nick here? Everyone asks that question.
We don't know. It's one of the life's mysteries, really.
Nick.
Alright, so we're going to move into the news section of this week. Can I get a drum roll, please?
Alright, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
That's it.
Okay. For the first news story of this week, we got Call of Duty Ghost Extinction Mode revealed. For Call of Duty fans, Zombie Mode for Treyarch games.
Is Chris here.
Wonderful thing. It's me being a huge zombie player. I definitely respect Call of Duty adding in an extra mode, which is, not its typical multiplayer, shoot 'em up, military style stuff. Even though I do have kind of a problem with it. It looks like, we've all seen the preview. It shows some guys in some military stuff like that. And, they're shooting up aliens. I don't know how I feel just yet about it being militarized. It's, zombies in, the Black Ops games and World at War and all that is just completely different from the multiplayer. And, I feel like that's one of the things that makes it really special, and I don't know how I feel about, the aliens mode being militarized. It's, I don't know. I mean, the very creative minds over there at Infinity Ward, they might, they'll definitely...
So are you happy that Infinity Ward's adding something that Treyarch has been doing?
Definitely. I was very upset when, Black Ops, the final DLC came out with Origins and all that on zombies, that I felt like that was going to be the last zombie mode that I saw for a very long time. So when I heard about Extinction, I got really excited.
Now, for you ladies and gentlemen at home that don't really know what Extinction Mode is for Call of Duty Ghosts, it's a new co-op mode for Call of Duty Ghosts. That's like the zombie mode from past Treyarch games, but Infinity Ward's adding their own little twist on it with aliens.
Which shows great innovation.
But that's what we're guessing from the trailer, that they are aliens, in fact, and not some mutated, infected fungus. Zombie. I don't know what it is.
And I would love to hear what Nick has to say about this, because we all know he loves aliens.
I got no comment.
So, but this mode coming out is cooperative play, 1 to 4 players. And and I quote, is a unique blend of fast-paced survival action, FPS-based defense, scavenging, and class leveling. Now, the class leveling part has me kind of curious, because I never played much of zombies. Did zombies have, like, your own personal class that you could build?
No. Nothing
so
like
no
that.
leveling system.
It's all about, well, there is a leveling system, but it's not like a class.
Mm-hmm.
It's the leveling system was all based on your kills to downs ratio, how many zombies you would kill versus how many times you got downed, and there was about, I think, maybe 3 or 4 different symbols that would go next to your name. But as far as making like a class, there's, it's the same for everybody. Everybody earns money the same way, picks up a gun the same way, and gets their perks the same way.
So this is different. This is completely different. All right, well, that's really cool. But moving on to from one Call of Duty story to another Call of Duty story, it was just a Call of Duty, kind of week, because Call of Duty is, releasing on all consoles next week on November 5th. But one of the big things...
Even next gen?
Even next gen.
Okay.
It's coming out November 5th. One of the big stories is that Call of Duty Ghost is native 1080p on the PS4, and it's upscaled resolution on the Xbox One. Both of them were optimized to reach 60 FPS on both consoles.
Good speed.
But it's pretty interesting how it'll run natively at 1080p, a higher resolution on the PS4, and still get 60 FPS and 720p upscaled, which shouldn't look as good, and still run at 60 FPS.
What is...
My guess is probably just the processing power between the PS4 and the Xbox One. They have different GPUs and different RAM, and it just...
So they are
complicated technical terms that kind of...
So they are not essentially the same systems.
They are the same, and we've heard...
But they're very different.
That's not like a standard... Is that just like a standard setting? Is there anything... You don't know that... Would there be anything to help, like in the settings of an Xbox One, to maybe up the...
I mean, there might be.
Did you try setting it to Wumbo? Did you...
Good question, my friend.
Just on the front of the Xbox, right? It's the M for Microsoft. Just turn the M.
There you go.
It's Wumbo.
Flip it to
But
Wumbo.
no, there might be. I mean, I don't think... I mean, on the PS3, I knew, and it might have been the same thing on the Xbox, where there was like a smoothing feature, where you could smooth out the graphics a little bit, but I don't know if it would really help at all. And who knows if anybody will really notice it, because 720p and 1080p...
Well, I'm sure Sony will say that you can, and I'm sure Microsoft will say that you can't. So.
Yeah, but it also kind of backs up earlier reports we saw this year, where developers were saying that the PS4 was
it 50%
slightly more powerful?
I've heard
or
50%.
50%.
I've heard 50%.
I've heard different numbers bounce back and forth from different people. So, who knows?
I just heard yes.
But that looks pretty cool. I mean, Extinction Mode and the 1080p thing both kind of convinced me to really go out and probably give Call of Duty Ghost a chance. Because everything I've seen so far, the multiplayer and the story, it looked good, but it didn't look $60 day one good.
It didn't wow me either.
So, I don't know. This one, the Extinction Mode, looks really good.
I'm going to have to wait and see.
Logan's a wait and see. Nick doesn't play that many shooters, so...
Wow. Except Alien games, but not Alien Colonial Marines.
You gotta stop with that.
So let's move on through the...
No, we talk about it so much, though, and I hate talking about it.
Yeah.
One more comment on Extinction. When I saw that Extinction was being released, along with it, it really kind of got my minds into buying the Season Pass. Because, just extra things like that. But they gotta be careful. When Black Ops 2 released their Zombies mode, the original Zombies mode, the non-DLC part, was bad. It's really not very good, and I feel like Infinity Ward definitely, to get this thing kicked off, needs to start off with a well-rounded, very well-fun-made, original non-DLC Extinction mode. They really need to...
So, start from scratch, a whole new thing.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, and they need to make it fun. They need to kind of learn from Black Ops 2 and think, why did so many people not like this original thing without the DLC? And they need to make it fun.
That makes sense. That really makes sense.
From the get-go, make it fun.
And honestly, I mean, from what I've seen, we've only seen one trailer of Extinction Mode, and we won't know until November 5th. And even then, we won't know how next-gen consoles are until November 15th. So...
For the PlayStation and then the Xbox. What is it,
yeah,
21st?
22nd.
22nd.
So we won't even know for that. But, like you were saying, it has to be fun and original. And I kind of like how they're going with this. It's not like, oh, look, we can do zombies too. It's like, hey, these are aliens. They're not zombies. They're still coming at you in hordes and everything.
But they're completely different species.
They're completely different.
What about an alien zombie?
I don't know. And I think the story behind it would be
kind
of cool too. Didn't zombies kind of have a story?
It definitely had a story.
Yeah. So I think this one's going to be pretty cool.
Very good story.
But let's move on through one Microsoft favorite Call of Duty to probably the most anticipated next-gen Xbox One title is Titanfall. Now, Titanfall, this past week, to the dismay of us Sony fans and whoever else in the world is buying a PS4, Titanfall was confirmed to be an Xbox One and Xbox 360 exclusive.
Really wanted to play it.
Ever. Like, Titanfall will only be coming ever to that.
And unless they pull a Microsoft,
However,
we're going to be very disappointed.
However, now, while this came out, it's clear that just the first one is exclusive. Now, if this turns into a series, it'll probably branch out to other consoles, right?
Why would you buy a sequel if you've never played the prequel?
Mass Effect 2 and 3. Mass Effect 1 never came out to the PS3, but Mass Effect 2 and 3 did. And it
How are its
sold...
numbers?
Not as good as the Xbox, because it, you know...
Because no one played the first one.
Right. But people still bought them. It still sold millions of copies. So, I don't know.
We'll see how
I think
that
it's pretty
goes.
cool.
Titanfall looks great. I think
It does.
looks. I think it looks pretty. I think it looks fun. I think it looks interesting. But this is something that's come out of nowhere. You know, it's not something that's had a prequel. It's not something that people know about. It's just new next gen thing. New
So it's not
shiny.
necessarily a system
Look at this.
seller.
We're gonna drop a system on you, and look at this game. We're gonna dangle it in your face. You know, people were excited about things like Resistance and Heavenly
Alex
Sword.
was excited
and
about Resistance.
I can't help but feel like maybe this Titanfall thing just might turn into another Heavenly Sword. You know, it's.
I could...
Or it could replace Halo.
I mean, definitely,
Yeah,
you know, it's up graphics, it's a new thing, it's got its own chance here, but I feel like this is a classic retailing thing.
Yeah, I can see that. I can understand that. I can understand that.
just to
the
draw people
only
in.
thing that has me convinced is that the guys who are making it are the guys who made the original Modern Warfare.
Where are they? Okay.
And they were fired,
What's the
remember,
developer?
from Infinity Ward a long time
Ward's
ago.
Yeah.
And they went off to EA to form their own studio called Respawn Entertainment. And that's who they're making Titanfall. And actually the guy who tweeted out when this whole Xbox One 360 exclusive thing was Vince Zampella from Infinity Ward, one of the main guys over in Infinity Ward. And he said, it's always a Microsoft exclusive at launch. Great partner and focus is good for a startup. EA made the deal for the rest. We only found out recently. So that means that they were in the talks with Microsoft, but EA made that exclusive deal. Now EA's in control of it, and EA likes money. So
Who doesn't like money?
I was about to say
Microsoft,
that.
because they did the DRM thing.
But the
and they
new
reversed
thing-
it, and then they,
and that's another thing. You know, you got to think about
nice
this.
haircut, by the way.
It's not coming out on launch day. It's coming
Titanfall
out.
is not coming out.
It's
on
coming
launch?
out in March of next year.
Really?
Oh goodness. Okay.
The launch window,
When is Destiny coming out?
June.
Okay, so
It's
they're
not a
going
confirmed
to be competing directly.
All right, but it's not coming out till March. I mean, will that help the Xbox One sales?
Not necessarily. Not
And-
out of the gate.
And on that news, let's move on to the next news story, which is Xbox One pre-orders are back in stock at GameStop.
Back in stock at GameStop.
I'm tired. Back in stock
They
at
are
GameStop.
back in stop.
Back in stock at GameStop.
Back at exactly.
GameStop.
GameStop.
We have a lot of stock here at GameStop.
What was the reason for the cancellation? You know, the discontinue of the Xbox One pre-orders.
Probably sales.
No, it was what happened was they didn't know if their production could meet the demand.
Yeah.
So they were like, we can allocate this many pre-orders. We know we'll get this many.
Okay.
And when those are gone, that's it. But then they start producing more and more and more. They're like, well, hey, we have this many surplus. Go ahead and put them out there.
Okay.
So
Didn't they go back on at Best Buy recently?
right now, huh?
I think they went back on Best Buy too in the past couple of days. Best Buy got more Xbox.
Oh yeah.
Is this a recent thing? Like when have they been available? Like
this happened yesterday. Xbox One pre-orders went back to GameStop yesterday.
Whoa, wow! So they've been absent for how long?
Since August, I think.
That's a long time.
I think.
And I think that really definitely tells us how big of a punch Sony really gave them.
Yeah, I mean, I used to work at GameStop, and I remember...
The Inside Scoop with Alex Tudor.
The Inside Scoop with Alex Tudor. I remember nobody coming in. Everybody coming in and selling their 360s to pre-order PS4s. And it was just, like, sad for Microsoft guys, because they were like, I was really hoping that this new console would be awesome, but it's not. And now that they reversed all their policies and everything, it's
absolutely mind-blowing to me.
Yeah.
It's, a company that did so well the first time with the social interactions and the price point, and for them to make a decision like this, it's just really, it blows my mind.
And
as if it was all staged.
Yeah. It's scary for the future, because if they can turn it off that easily...
They can put it back on.
In 2 years from now, they can turn it back on. Another thing I'm really... I saw a post about this earlier, just like a comment in an article somewhere. Wouldn't it be hilarious if all Xbox 360s, the day the Xbox One launched, all got red rings of death? They were all, programmed to have, red rings of death on November 27th.
I have an Xbox, and I play it every day. And as much as I would be upset that would happen, I would have to laugh my ass off. I really would.
Forced obsolescence.
I would just be laughing, and I'd just be like, ho, this sucks, but it's hilarious.
But it still sucks.
But it still sucks.
We still have an Xbox One, PS4 by then.
Yeah, I will have a PS4 by then.
So it won't suck that much.
Yeah.
Let's see here.
Have something to put your drink on.
But it's guaranteed, GameStop guarantees that all customers reserving now, will get their console on launch day.
Okay.
Like the launch day one, which the limited edition Xbox One controller. Have you seen this?
You get the controller that says day one.
It says day 1, 2013.
I did it first.
Yeah,
I buy it.
I wouldn't want that unless
it's that hipster motive. Me first.
Unless
I had it first.
But I'm different.
If my controller said first in line, that would be the best.
First in line.
First in line.
Who would be lucky?
First in line and last in line. That's what you need.
It's just, I would hate to be the guy that gets second in line. It's just, damn it.
God, I just get day 1, 2013. I wanted first in line.
I should have gotten here earlier.
There's that controller nobody wanted. I'm in the middle.
But watch the first in line be some grandma who gives it to her grandson on Christmas, and they're like, "You're not even opening it on day 1."
Well,
that's a waste of it.
Who could be lucky enough, like us, to be in the first in line?
None of us.
We're going to be trying to be first in line.
That would be amazing.
We're showing up at 4.
Yeah. We're at GameStop.
That's the exact face I
that's
gave
when we're
him.
showing up. We're showing up at 4.
What?
People, that's a really sad face Chris just gave Alex.
We're going to be saving you spots.
I'm sure many people listening to this podcast right now have seen the meme on the internet of the old lady with her mouth open that goes, "What?" That's the face I'm giving you guys right now. What?
The cartoonish derp face,
So,
No amigo.
we're going for the PS4 launch. Me and Logan. I don't know who else.
How many people do you think will be there?
Tons.
Tons? Like a metric poo ton?
Tons. And the thing is, there's going to be tons of people from high school, and I want to beat them before they get out of class.
Amen.
Yeah.
So
I'm in high school.
That makes us 3 o'clock. That's awful.
I'm going to be I'm taking lawn chairs. Honestly, I'm just going to be sitting.
Well,
outside.
they get out 3:50, so 4. If we're there at 4, we'll be out before.
Watch us get there at 4, and no one even shows up until 7 or 8.
Who cares? We're first in line.
We're going to be playing games, card games.
I'll go. We can switch on and off. Who goes to the bathroom? Who gets food? Whatever.
We can walk to Walmart and get our need.
I'm going to bring the
our needs
Vita.
met.
I'll bring the 3DS if you want to play Pokemon for a little while.
Bring a folding table and play
Some
poker.
sleep medicine.
Some sleep. You can sleep.
We'll
You
just
got,
park your car in the
9
door.
hours.
Just lay on the concrete there and just,
Well, what we're going to do
We'll
is...
park your car in the door so nobody can get in.
Hey, and I know the people there, too. If you're listening to this and
Oh boy, he's gonna cheat.
you know me, I love you.
No, he doesn't.
He's
It's
gonna.
all
We're gonna be
lie.
first in
He
line.
just wants your money.
He's gonna.
We're going to be first in
cheat
line.
you.
But
Punch you out of the way for
we're gonna be
first
there.
line.
that's going to be fun. Let's move on. I
wanna be there. Really want to be
Be there or be square.
All right. Next story up is one of my games I'm looking forward to is The Witcher 3. The Witcher 3 looks gorgeous.
Now, wasn't that a Microsoft exclusive?
No, it
was.
Yeah, it was.
It was.
It's not anymore. The Witcher 3 looks really good. It's looked like the graphics on it look awesome, but the PC version, a lot of people play it on PC, and it's absolutely no DRM. Let's see. An open letter from co-founder and joint CEO Michael Iwinski explains that the developer has decided against using DRM thanks to past experiences. Now, CD Projekt Red, the developer behind this, they've never been for DRM. When Microsoft came out and said we have DRM on our console,
they said we don't.
They were like, you know what? We might just not have our game on your console. That's just how it's going to run. But here's what part of the letter says. I'd like, and I quote, "I'd like to say it loud and clear. The PC version of The Witcher 3 will have absolutely no DRM from day zero. Zero. Zip. Nada. It doesn't matter if you choose to buy it from GOG.com or support us directly. Blah, 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 blah. And this goes for the whole wide world." End quote. That was
emphasis on the blah.
That was from the CEO of them. And he likes to use the letters zip, nada, and zilch.
Those are words, not letters.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're recording this at like 9 o'clock at night. I am tired, and I shouldn't be because I'm a college student, but I'm like brain dead.
He's always brain dead. Don't let him lie to you. Chris just made a pyramid, proving that he is not brain dead. A pyramid out of pieces of chocolate.
King of the Aztecs.
It is a pyramid for my pharaoh, Alex.
Who just happens to be our lovely announcer.
Hey, don't forget that I unleashed the power of the DualShock 4.
You did.
What?
He hit the button. He made it glow for the first time.
Oh,
he gave it a orgasm.
All right. So now we've covered all the Xbox news, all the Microsoft news. It's hot as hell in here.
That's just me. Sorry.
I farted.
Apparently, it's just Chris.
It's hot in here. We're going to move on to the Sony news of the day, and there is a ton this week.
I think I hear angels singing.
Ubisoft has this week confirmed that all Assassin's Creed 4 Sony exclusive DLC, PlayStation exclusive DLC, will not be coming to other platforms. It's only coming to the PlayStation 3 and the PlayStation 4.
Wait, the fact that you said PlayStation exclusive did not give me that idea.
Okay, whatever.
Now, I know about... is this correct about the extra 60 minutes of gameplay for the Sony? Is this what you're talking about?
Yeah,
or
that's what I'm talking about.
More than that? Like there's going to be
the
extra.
60 minutes extra of
Is that
gameplay.
DLC or is that packed in?
That's DLC, and you'll have it, I believe, day one.
Okay.
I think.
So
don't hold me on that. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're listening to this, don't hold me
Hold him on it.
Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, my client Alex Tudor says do not hold him on it.
Witness.
Your Honor. That's actually
the DLC will have the Vita character Evelyn, the black girl assassin.
Why
Why she gotta be black?
Found it.
Hey, I was gonna say that too, but I had water in my mouth.
We are not racists here.
Alex
says
we're hearkening back
we're
to the
good,
first
honest
episode.
The 1870s, apparently.
No, but the DLC isn't coming to the Xbox and everything, which is awesome because the PlayStation, I have felt, hasn't been really receiving anything exclusive since Microsoft now has all the exclusive DLC for Call of Duty and Battlefield. It kind of seemed stupid that Sony didn't have anything, but now they do. So,
They'll have more.
you know, that makes me feel good. What do you guys think? I feel like I'm the only one talking.
I really feel like Sony should be given the same thing for at least Call of Duty that Microsoft gives.
Like the 2-week early thing?
Yeah, it's just a big name in the gaming industry. And so many people are pre-ordering PS4s, it only seems fair that they would get the exact same experience that Microsoft gives.
I mean, you're a Battlefield fan.
Mm-hmm.
Do you hate that EA decided to go with Microsoft on this one?
Something tells me that Microsoft really made it worth EA's while.
They made them an offer they couldn't refuse.
Yes.
I mean, I don't know. Do you think that EA made a bad choice going on that because of the lack of Xbox sales?
No.
Like, I mean, think about Activision. Activision loves money. I mean, they practically eat it for breakfast, dinner, and lunch, and
Why did you
snack
put dinner
and
before
brunch.
lunch?
and brunch.
And brunch. Don't forget brunch. And the midnight snack. That's
Afternoon tea. They go to Britain to have afternoon tea with money.
Dinner, supper,
mean-
after
Money
supper.
Money tea. They love money.
It leaves from the
So-
money tree.
So why are they still going to Microsoft? Is Microsoft just giving
Second
them
breakfast.
a lot of money to have it early?
Either that or they really made a very, very bad bet early
Yeah.
on that Microsoft would be as successful as Sony.
Now, Chris, you played Call of Duty. Like, that's like the only game you ever played, really, on Xbox,
If you cut
right?
his veins open,
On-
kill streaks come out.
On Xbox, right? That's all. That's really all you.
It's my main thing. Yeah.
That's your main thing. I mean, you played other things, but
He should be playing
did
Battlefield.
you buy like the
I don't
season
know.
pass and stuff like that?
I did not. I used. I got to be honest with you. I used license transfer and things to get DLCs.
Okay,
But yeah.
okay. Sure. But I mean, did you still get it early? That's what I'm
Did I get it early?
like. I mean, because Microsoft always got the DLC.
Well, earlier than PlayStation.
Yeah.
Yes.
Did that make a difference to you? Did you feel like it was buggy, glitchy?
No, I don't. But as far as do I think it's worth it to
Yeah.
choose a console over another just because a DLC will come
A
like
week
in
earlier?
a month,
Or a month
maybe
earlier?
even a month?
Yeah.
I don't think so. I will just as well go with PlayStation over Xbox this generation, even though it will probably be the same way. Xbox will get DLCs first. That really doesn't bother me.
I think it's I mean, I don't know. Like you said, you didn't really experience any bugs or anything
No,
like that.
it's all
So, I mean, if there were, especially for Battlefield, because I know Battlefield, every time a new DLC comes out for Battlefield, it's glitchy as just anything else, right? It's not as bad as, let's say, Grand Theft Auto Online,
Oh boy.
but it's still pretty bad. If they work out the issues on an Xbox and then release the final polished version on PlayStation, I'll take that.
Of course.
If they want to test it on Xbox
Before they port it over
they
to their
get-
premium system.
premium system, I'm okay with that.
Once
I'm okay
again,
with
once again, College Gamer endorses the Ouya as your next generation gaming console.
I second.
And then the Wii U. Then
We're going to pause the podcast to throw Logan out the front door.
Oh!
Fresh Prince of Bel Air style.
Dude, I haven't watched that show in like ever. Oh my god.
It's a great show. And he
I love
All
it.
it is reruns, so.
Will
Who
Smith-
cares, dude? Reruns are great.
He endorsed the Sega, so.
Dude, I love Fresh. I can't even
Fresh
talk.
Prince of Bel Air.
Fresh Prince of Bel Air.
Bel Air is in California.
If I have to give like a speech tomorrow and I start slurring my lips, and I just start like,
Bell Prince of Fresh Air.
Who doesn't love That's the hippie edition. Who doesn't love fresh air, man?
Yeah, stick with that smoke. Gets you somewhere.
oh my god.
And we
I
roll
can't
on.
even. I gotta watch
The
that
news.
show again.
Alex, the news.
Hey, we got
Come
time.
on.
This is a conversational podcast. We can talk
Why?
about,
We're having a conversation about gaming, not 1990s sitcoms.
Yeah, come
hey,
on, man.
you know, one of the best times in gaming, the '90s.
It's when the N64
that is
came
true.
out. My
That
favorite
is
game
so
system.
true.
It's
the
when
PlayStation.
The PlayStation 1
The
came.
Jet
N64.
Jet Moto? Come on!
My
Twisted
favorite
Metal.
game.
Twisted
my
Metal?
favorite game.
Spyro?
GoldenEye Perfect
My
Dark.
favorite game for the PlayStation 1 would either be Spyro 2, like you said, Ripto's Rage, or the original Spider-Man game.
Super Mario 64.
I love that game too, but
GoldenEye. End of story.
Have
you
you
know, no, I'm not playing
have
that.
you ever heard of a game called Crash Team Racing?
Oh, I love that game.
I have heard of Crash Team
I
Racing.
grew
I
up
have
on
never
that
played
game.
Crash Team Racing.
That was the
Have
first
you ever
Naughty
heard of a
Dog
game called Jack X Racing?
Are you kidding, right?
There's
was
a
a-
figment of it in my
That
memory.
was a horrible game.
In my memory, it's there.
I was okay with it.
Just because it had the name Jack in the title, I'm
You
okay
ruined
with
my
it.
13th birthday party with that game.
We also played Cabela's,
I loved that game.
where he kept shooting the bush.
It was my. That's not a sex reference, by the way.
Let me go into the story because I know.
No, you know,
hold on,
don't do
hold
it,
on, hold on.
man. No.
No, this is what makes podcast history right here. I'm gonna go into the story about Logan. Logan, you can chime in whenever you want because you were there. I'm gonna kind of get away from the news here for a second, but it was like Logan's 13th birthday party,
December
and
5th, like 2006 or whatever.
And we were, and it was like 2 a.m. and we were sitting there in his basement, dark basement, around this TV playing Cabela's
Alaskan Adventure on a PlayStation 2.
Right, playing the
Don't know why you went. I think you
Cabela's
were, like,
Alaskan
gone or
Adventures. And
Far away.
we kept shooting. We kept trying to search for a fox and shooting a bush.
And the fox was nowhere to be found.
And we kept
Star
telling
Fox.
the bush to die. And,
And my friend Chris kept going, die bush, die, ha ha, die bush, die.
bush.
Different Chris, actually, not the Chris sitting next to us.
and yeah.
And again, I don't know why this Chris wasn't there. Something happened.
Is it hot in here?
It is hot in here.
Yes.
Off topic.
We're talking about my 13th birthday.
No,
party.
it's
like-
how much
it seriously feels hot.
I'm talking about the
get?
friggin' heat.
It's cold. It's not cold outside.
Alex, get your edges correct, man.
Anyway, let's
Changing temperatures.
I'm so asleep I can't even feel.
yeah, it's cold. It's hot. No, it's just right.
Cold and it's hot.
It's COD. It's hold.
All right, let's get back to the news. Let's get back to the news.
Call of Duty.
Gaming. Back to games.
More Sony news here. External hard drives
They will not work.
will not work. Let me tell the news, sir. I have the list.
Give us a chance.
Fascist.
External hard drives will not work on the PS4. Which I mean,
That's gonna be a
isn't
little
that
bit-
surprising?
Yeah, that's going to be a little bit of trouble if you run out of space.
If you run out of space, you can still change hard drives.
Still, but
Thing
you
is-
have to, I think it's easier just to adapt to another hard drive.
Yeah. Thing is, when you switch out the internal hard drive from the PS4, which is extremely easy apparently, because you just pop off the side cover and pull it out and put it in,
It's
is
so easy, a caveman.
you're limited to a specific hard drive. Apparently, you can't go above 500 gigs. You can't find.
Proprietary hard drives.
No, it's not a proprietary. It's a standard laptop hard
Ah,
drive.
okay, there you go.
But just the one that fits in it, because the PS4 is so small, right? You're really only limited. You can't go to like a terabyte, because terabytes are too thick. Yeah. So that's pretty interesting. But to go along, hello,
So,
Chris.
so you're saying the maximum is a 500 gigabyte hard drive?
For now.
For now, I mean,
I don't know how concrete that is, because, I mean, I've heard people say that, it's not like you can't find a terabyte hard drive.
here's my problem with this:
That's
is that the next gen games, I guess, upped graphics and all that is taking up a lot of space. I had a friend who looked up how much space
Killzone Shadowfall?
Well, he actually looked up how much Ghosts would take up on your hard
yeah.
drive, and it was like 49 gigs.
Yeah.
And that's on a 500 gigabyte.
That's when
hard
you
drive.
download it.
That's a tenth of your memory.
Yeah, that's when you download it.
Damn.
When
Yeah.
you install it off the disc, it's still like 38 gig. Yeah. Killzone Shadowfall, which is out now. You can
38, that's not a small
the
number,
first
though.
the first PS4 game that's out on the market. You can go buy it in your local store anywhere today. Is
I'm going.
Killzone Shadowfall. You can go buy it today.
Nick just left for
That's the first PS4 game.
Killzone Shadowfall.
I'll be
But
back.
the disc install size is 43 gigs, I believe.
That is insane.
It's like 42 or
You know,
43.
that's
And
huge.
this makes me upset because when I had a PS2, an 8 megabyte memory card was enough to hold my entire childhood. and it
was.
really
You
tells
are
me
absolutely correct about that, sir.
it really tells me that our technology on improving games is excelling our knowledge of improving our memory to hold them.
Well, the thing is, we have the ability to have. We have the room to hold these games. Like, there's hardware out there that can do it. It's just the fact that Sony and Microsoft
Didn't put it on in the system.
didn't put it in there, and they're both emphasizing downloading all your games and going digital only.
I fear the day that a console is released with the graphics for an amazing game without the memory to hold it. And it's
that
just
would
I feel like
be
this
terrible.
is I just feel like this is where we're going.
Yeah.
And that frightens me.
I'm not going
I
to
don't
be able
know.
to sleep tonight because you mentioned that. Thanks.
I think we'll be fine. I think,
Because
I
you're right.
mean,
The 8 megabyte card could hold everything.
Yeah.
think about this.
Or the 16 you could get at Walmart. That was
Let's
like the
say
off-brand.
you buy
Walmart.
the
can do it.
PS4 day one. You go with us. You go at midnight. You pick it up. You're at home. You put in Call of Duty, right?
And then it explodes. No, okay.
That would be terrible. Oh my
Then your
god!
system
Plot
takes over
twist.
the world.
Can you imagine
Plot twist.
plugging it in and it blowing up? I would cry.
Oh, I got the faulty disc. Oh.
I would cry for you. I would cry for anybody in this room.
Anyway,
I would
Go on.
cry
Anyway,
for
go
you,
on.
your family, your neighborhood.
You
I get
you
on
put
my
it in
knees
there.
and beg God,
Nick, hold
why
on.
am I alive?
You put it in there. It's like what 30 something gig to install,
Okay.
right? What other games are you getting?
Right now I have AC4 and Ghosts on
Okay,
pre-order.
so those are 2 games. Let's say total space that you take up is maybe, let's go ahead and say 95 gigs.
Yeah.
All right, which is a lot of space.
That's
out of 500.
I mean, if you put that on a PS3, currently that's like half the
Yeah.
on 120 gig. I mean, that's
True.
a standard one. More than half. But you do that. Are you buying any games in the future coming up?
Well, probably, yeah.
Like how soon in the future?
I mean, I'm still looking at Battlefield 4.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not particularly a Battlefield fan. I want it for the fact that it's bringing some interesting new types
Right.
of gameplay, and all my friends are getting it.
Right.
Free to.
And there was a couple more on my list that are kind of escaping my memory right now, but maybe another 3 games
Yeah.
at max.
See, and then let's say you install whatever those 3 games. Let's say you have 5 games total, right? And they all equal up to, let's say, 300 gigs, which is mind-boggling because it's 300 gigs, which is crazy. But you have 200 gigs left, right?
Yeah.
Let's say you buy any more games for the rest of the year. None of those other games look good to you. So you buy the next Call of Duty. Well, you're not really going to play the old Call of Duty anymore. So you delete that game data.
That's kind of the point where I am right now on my Xbox. Free games with gold is definitely taking up my hard drive, and I've been getting games, deleting games, getting games, deleting games over and over. And
PlayStation Plus.
Yeah.
PlayStation Plus, I've been using it, oh God, since last year. I've been using it since October of last year. Non-stop, downloading games. And man, I download so many games like Borderlands, just games, Battlefield 3, all those games.
Games.
Games. It takes up so much room, I have to delete the games I've already installed because I'm
Yeah.
just like, I can't.
Well, in some
time
games you'll never play again, which is not a problem.
Well, that's just not
Yeah,
a problem,
like one
but
time-
still, 500 gigs isn't that big.
No.
It's scary. Mm-hmm. I mean, but then again, look at it, 2 or 3 years down the road from now when if the PS4 has a super slim or I don't know how
It's
they're
already
gonna
going to
do
be.
that.
It's already really small.
This
It's
is
already
terrifying. I'm gonna be an old man one day.
I remember when I had a 32 gigabyte PlayStation 3.
Yeah, exactly.
My grandkids are gonna say, "Not those, Grandpa. We're talking about the PlayStation Ultimum with 600,000 gigs."
We can hold
Shut up, old man.
And we can hold 2 games on it.
Go drink your prune juice. Fall asleep to the football game.
I gotta say, that
It
sounds
has-
like a great future.
It has 900 gigawatts.
900 million terabytes. It's just insanity.
I fear for your future, Chris. If that's what
But-
your grandkids act like.
But let's go on to
I'll
this
be
next
president.
little topic here.
I'd vote for you in a heartbeat.
Moving on from the external hard drives, which is kind of sucks. Whatever. But this massive, frequently asked questions was posted on Sony's site about the PS4, and it answers everybody's most anticipated, questions, whatever they want to know about. And in this, the one I found to be the most interesting is, 2 of them actually. One of them is you have to download a day 1 patch, right? When
For
you
the
get
Xbox?
no PS4.
Really?
When you get the system home and you put it in, you have to download a 300 megabyte patch that essentially enables everything the PS4 does.
There's something about how you keep mentioning getting home and putting it in that makes me uncomfortable.
You just got a dirty mind, man.
Are you gonna like throw it up in the air? Put it. Never mind.
I don't think you understand what I'm trying to
Alex
say,
is
but go
making
on.
gestures.
I keep looking over at my shelf unit over there, and I'm just like taking out the old one and putting the new one in. I don't know. It's just my own thing. But
Rock and roll.
where was I?
Fetishes.
We do have gaming fetishes. That's why we're here.
Where was I?
Frequently asked questions.
Yeah, but there was another one. What was I going on to?
Downloading the patch.
Oh, downloading the patch. Yeah, it's a 300 megabyte patch. It's not as big as the Xbox One patch, but it enables everything. When you take home the PS4 and plug it in and turn it on and everything, you can't play Blu-ray discs out of the box. You have to download the patch to do that.
Do you play games without downloading the patch?
What am I going to
Probably
do
not.
for the
I
next 3
think
years?
so.
discs, right?
Blu-ray movies,
Okay.
I believe. But still,
So if you're not playing
Yeah.
movies, you don't have to download
Yeah.
the patch.
That's just not a thing for me. I really don't feel like the Blu-ray movie. wave across the nation was never a thing. It's just
It's just
true.
there.
No,
It just
seems
happens.
unnecessary.
it's just there.
It was
and
an
no one
advertising
acknowledges it.
thing.
It's
They
like
were
a,
like, on DVD and Blu-ray. But no one ever bought the Blu-ray.
It's just got a cool
it's like an
name.
orphan child. It's there, and you feel bad for it, but you'll never let it know that you feel bad for
It's
it.
the grandson of Betamax.
You're
Tie it
never
out
gonna
quickly.
buy it just to have it in your house and be like,
Right.
hey,
It's
I was part of this.
Another thing,
unnecessary.
another thing in this patch is it enables the sharing and the streaming and all that. That's kind of that makes sense.
But if you don't have the
Another
is it
thing
Sony
is-
camera or whatever it's called,
Yeah, the
you
PlayStation
can't-
camera.
you don't use it anyway, right?
What do you mean you don't use it?
You don't stream without the camera, right?
No, you can stream without the camera, but you can't have your voice and your picture while you're streaming.
You can't be heard.
Yeah. Anyway, another thing is MP3s aren't supported on the PS4.
Oh no!
Yeah, MP3s. You can't listen. You know how they were making this whole big deal, like you can listen to your own music while you play your games,
You can use
I
that
am
now?
canceling
Yeah,
my
you can do that
pre-order
now.
and getting an Xbox.
Me too.
Like-
Outrageous!
and you can do all that, right? Well, apparently you can't. You have to subscribe to Sony's unlimited music service
Lying bastards.
to listen to the music through it.
Sneaky
Yeah, they don't even have a MP3 playback system.
Can you play
a
CDs on it
visualization
still?
player?
Can you still play CDs?
No, it doesn't even have a CD player.
You know, and that's really a bad business decision on their part. It's with Xbox.
Yeah.
You know, people liked to use things like Last FM and stuff,
Mm-hmm.
and them taking that extra step would have definitely helped them a lot. And I mean, I feel
Here's the
bad
thing.
for them for not taking that step.
And now that's a good point, because there was such outrage by this whole you can't listen to MP3s and listen to all your music and your own
the
music.
NPR on it?
Probably through the app. There's probably going to be an app for it.
I'll look into that. NPR, it's good stuff. National Public Radio. For life.
Meh. Anyway,
Die.
um,
I do listen to NPR.
anyway, when you do that, people were so outraged by it. Shuhei Yoshida, president of Sony Worldwide Entertainment.
And Alex's
Peter-
crush.
boyfriend.
I love Shuhei Yoshida. He
Alex's
is a
boyfriend.
badass.
Alex loves this man.
But he's so in tune with the community, he listens. So, what he did, he's the president of Sony Worldwide Entertainment Computer, whatever. I don't even know the full title. It's so awesome.
he works at Sony.
I can't even say it.
He works with PlayStation. That's all you need to know.
Yeah, he's the head
And
honcho.
Alex is in love with him.
Of
You need to know that
PlayStation.
as well.
He took
President of his
this.
heart.
He took this whole
He won that
argument
election.
thing. He took this whole thing to the developer department, and they're working on a patch to fix the MP3 and stuff thing right now.
Go.
But just the fact that they have to go through all that.
now, was this part of his decision as well? Shiny shoe or whatever you said his name was.
Shuhei Yoshida.
Shiny shoe.
Ching Chang
He-
Yoshida.
was he part of this decision to make it to where MP3s were not a thing?
No.
It's just
He
No,
would
it
never,
was probably. Here's the thing.
he would never commit such a
And,
heinous
and
crime
Microsoft has
against
done the
gaming.
same thing. Microsoft has done the same thing. It's both Sony and Microsoft. Where
Are you now comparing Sony to Microsoft on this
Seriously?
podcast?
Seriously?
yes.
Seriously? Okay. Whatever.
And this is coming from a Sony fanboys, ladies and gentlemen.
I'm not
I'm
just-
He
comparing
has the
the two.
He has the PlayStation symbol
They
tattooed
both-
on his scrotum. So you really
Both can be
That is
completely.
strange. That is so weird.
Both can be completely
Drink.
in tune with the community, but that doesn't mean they're completely listening to the
Alex,
community. No, Logan.
Okay. Sorry.
beer, Bloody Mary,
are you,
martini.
are you finished with those?
Are
items?
you finished with the questions?
Red rum.
No.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm about to strangle both of these people. Anyway,
You can't
Okay.
strangle your brother.
Hey,
I'm just sitting over here like I'm in the clear.
anyway,
For once,
it's hot in here.
drink.
No.
I'm just here for comic relief.
Yeah.
But you're not laughing, so I'm not doing
No.
my job.
laughing.
So anyway, they can be both in tune with the community, but if they're not completely listening to the community, they both made mistakes. Microsoft made the mistakes with the DRM, right? They weren't listening. People didn't want DRM. People didn't like SimCity. They didn't want DRM.
Explain the SimCity thing. Because
Okay.
If they've never heard this
Essentially,
and you just say that, they're going to be really confused.
okay, ladies and gentlemen, the SimCity debacle was this past March or April. I can't remember the exact date
Maybe
because
April, but maybe March.
essentially Maxis and Origin, EA's cloud gaming service, came out with the game SimCity, their
Love Maxis.
new game, right? DRM plagued it. Was terrible. Nobody liked it. It made the game suck, essentially, and it made people jump through a bunch of different hoops just to play the game. And then when Microsoft came out and said, "Hey, we're going to have DRM," that just kind of put a bad taste in everybody's mouth. Whatever.
As it should.
No used games. Whatever. Sony, if the worst thing they're doing is coming out and saying you can't listen to your old MP3s on your new system, like you don't already own an MP3 player, that's a problem. That's not as bad as a problem.
PS4, but I can't get an MP3 player.
You guys understand what I'm saying? Are you guys listening to what I'm saying?
At the end of the story, it is that Microsoft was way worse than Sony.
Yes.
That's all I got.
They both made mistakes.
But Microsoft
just made
way worse.
Way worse. Yes.
I'm just really being slapped in the face right now by first world problems. Just, I have a PS4, but it won't play music.
America.
I'm going to make this comment on my iPhone 4S, 5SC thing.
I'm going to
I
have
was
a conversation with C-3PO.
My iPhone 10. Whatever. Anyway, that's all for the news this week. We've already kind of gone on, had a few great stories, and whatever. Let's get some silence in the room here for a second. Let me go ahead and bring up an ordeal about the why there's no review this week on collegegamer.net. If you go back and check the news, there's news all the time. But for this week, there is no review of a game. That's because I'm giving a shout out to Sierra Trimper. She is doing the review for Assassin's Creed 4 on the Xbox 360, the current gen version. The current gen version, and I'm looking at Logan because
Sierra Trimper.
Yeah,
Who?
you don't know her. Anyway, shout out to you. Thank you so much for helping me out. It's been a huge help because I wanted the current gen version on there before the next gen in 2 weeks from now. So it's going to be pretty good. So Logan, moving on. How many weeks until the PS4 launch?
You just said it. 2 weeks.
Congratulations. I'm glad I did.
Glory.
Go to bed. You need to sleep.
I know I do. But let's move on to our last section of the night or day, whenever you are listening to this, audience.
96 FM.
The predictions for next week.
Now.
We're going to go clockwise
I'm
here.
listening right now.
Nick,
Me too.
you haven't said much tonight besides some random blather. What's your prediction
I
for
find
next
that
week?
insulting.
I know. What's your prediction
As
for
if
next
I'm
week?
going to answer you. Go to him.
Okay, Chris, what's your prediction for next week? Like in gaming news, do you have some wild, out of the park ideas or something valid prediction?
Not at all. It's kind of a weird week, right?
Call of Duty comes out.
Yeah.
That's not a prediction, it's a fact.
That is, that's... I predict that Call of Duty will come out next week. How about that?
Hey, no, let's not go with the obvious here.
I have one.
Okay, what's your slogan?
I feel like the Wii U sales are going to greatly increase next week.
Really?
Based on nothing, just gut feeling.
That's a good prediction.
I gotta be honest, I feel like Ghosts might be a little underwhelming. People go crazy about Call of Duty, but
So,
I just
end with a
there's
whisper,
something
not a bang.
instinctively about, because I've been there for every single Call of Duty. I've been playing since like Call of Duty 2. And
Great game.
It's a great game, but it's just something instinctively in my head that says this is not classic Call of Duty, and whether it's going to be successful or not is really, it's really just kind of out there. It's not really, we're not really going to know.
Do you feel that way because you feel like they've changed too much from classic Call of Duty, or that they haven't changed enough?
I feel that way because they're trying a lot of new things blindly, I feel like.
Okay.
I kind of go along with that prediction. I kind of feel that, Activision has come out and said, we're going to beat Grand Theft Auto 5 sales, in the first night.
Oh, goodness.
No, they're not.
Not at all.
They're not at all. I mean, if you're, ladies and gentlemen, if you remember from 2 weeks ago in episode 1, we talked about
the geography episode?
The geography episode, yes. We talked about the sales of Grand Theft Auto 5, and it reached $800 million.
This isn't fair, audience.
In 3 days. So
Again, first world problems.
I don't think Call of Duty Ghost is coming out to too many systems.
No,
I don't think it will.
won't reach it.
No. It might overall reach it eventually.
In the long run, it probably will catch up.
And you know,
exceed
it
it.
just I know Grand
Maybe.
Theft Auto for me did not live up to expectations at all. It was just that
Yeah.
the
And
hype
you were
train,
playing
the
that
hype
for the
train had no
Xbox?
brakes.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know,
You were playing that for the 360?
I had it for the 360.
Okay.
And
I liked it. I enjoyed the story.
solid game. The story was okay.
I thought it
to
was
me.
it was the only Grand Theft Auto game I've ever finished.
Really.
Yeah, Grand Theft Auto 4, it was so bad I couldn't even get.
Online
Yeah,
was
not that-
great.
It was not that good.
Online was great. It's just I had some major problems with one. I was getting my ass kicked.
Oh.
I was getting my ass kicked constantly, and there would be times all the time where I would die and spawn out in the middle of freaking nowhere with no car or no way to get back to civilization to go steal a car
Yeah.
or do anything, and I would find myself running all the time. When instead I want to be robbing
And the game is
a
called
store.
Grand Theft Auto, not Grand
And this
Theft
is Grand Theft
Running.
Auto Online or
Not
just the
cool
same?
running.
This is online.
Online,
Steal
yeah.
shoes to run.
They make you buy the ability to get your car called into you. And, you know, these things aren't even achievable until
Yeah.
you make enough money to buy a garage or anything. And while you're sitting there getting your ass kicked, you're losing money.
Yeah.
And you can't get up to buy anything that's going to help you.
I couldn't get in. That's my problem. I played the main story. I was like, man, I love the main story. It's fun and everything. But I had no desire to get into Grand Theft Auto Online. And when I tried to get in, I couldn't get in. So I was just like, well, this is going back to
Well,
the
is
store.
Grand Theft Auto traditionally an online game?
No, this is the first game that's
I-
well, Grand Theft Auto 4 had an online multiplayer, but this is the first really fully.
Then when they're really
realized-
pushing.
Yeah.
But it's not really within Grand Theft Auto culture to have online play, though. So
No, not
So-
really.
Not-
I like the
not
single
surprising.
player.
Not surprising.
It had dated graphics. The trailers looked gorgeous, but the game itself, when you finally played it, wasn't
Wilderness in the game suffered, definitely. They definitely did not spend the detailed time that they did with the Wilderness in Red Dead Redemption.
Yeah.
The city was very detailed, but mountains and things, they looked like flat. Like they looked like hills that had painted grass and painted
Yeah.
shrubs on them that were just flat.
I also felt like
Unrendered.
maybe it was just me, but I mean everybody loves the city of Los Santos and everything like that. But I felt it was, I don't want to say empty, but I felt it was very just
Not full.
barren, boring, and
Barren.
The ocean was disappointingly
dark.
It was
I couldn't see
disappointingly
anything.
not fun to explore. I was really looking forward to like scuba diving and doing things like that.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
just getting into that murky water and feeling like there was nothing to explore was just really a letdown for
Yeah.
me.
And they, like, in the trailers, they were like, from the depths of the ocean to the top of the mountain. I was like, I went to the mountaintop once. Never went back.
Do you feel
Never
cheated?
really went to the bottom of the ocean either. So,
Do you feel cheated?
I went into the ocean to do
I
a
got
fish.
half my money back,
In
so
the
I'm okay.
sense that you're talking about.
I felt like what I paid for it in the end, $30, I'm fine with it. Because I
It's a
paid
30 It's a
$60.
$30 game, but not a $60 game.
No, I paid $60. Returned it for $30. And got $30 back, so.
Yep.
In store credit, which I put towards the PS4.
Which is totally worth it, we hope.
We hope. But anyway,
If it's not worth it, we'll all be playing Ouya's.
this was College Gamer
That's a good
episode.
haircut. I have to ask Chris a question.
Yeah, go ahead. Sorry, I won't.
Last week we had a
on-
topic. Should you consider people who only play Call of Duty hardcore gamers? And I want to know what you think about that.
Should I consider?
Okay, let me give you some background if you didn't read the story. And ladies and gentlemen, if you didn't listen to last week's, or this is the first time you're listening, this is what happened last week. There was an article that came out from a Call of Duty developer saying that Call of Duty gamers aren't real gamers. They're not hardcore gamers. Because they only play one game every year and they don't branch out to other things. Do you think that's true? That's the
Absolutely
summarized.
not. You know, if you have a game that you truly like and it's your favorite and it's something that you play over other games, then that's cool. You know, and if you see people in the Call of Duty tournaments, like the Black Ops tournament that they have last year, and how just into it and really focused those people are into that game. Of course they're hardcore gamers, and just because they don't play other games, that's just, that doesn't, just not right.
And I've heard so many arguments going either way, in the past, week or two, about this whole thing, and it's just like, it depends on your definition of a hardcore gamer in the end. Because either people see hardcore gamers as game enthusiasts,
which is what I would advocate, but that's just
which is what Logan says, or hardcore gamers as in you're really good at playing games. Any game. Or you're good at playing one game and you can beat anybody else.
But you game hardcore.
But you game hardcore. I think it's just really up into interpretation, but the way he was putting it was they're not hardcore gamers because they buy one game a year, regardless of platform.
Or they buy one franchise.
And they buy one
Call of Duty.
Right. It's like people playing FIFA and Madden. They just go back every single year and buy one game every year. Doesn't matter. Me, personally, I always advocate that people need to branch out and play other games.
Well, of course.
Because, you're really missing out if you just play Call of Duty.
Yeah.
And what really annoys me no end are the Call of Duty players. I'm not saying you're one,
Yeah.
but there are plenty of Call of Duty gamers out there that are like, oh, I'm a hardcore gamer, So what games do you play? Call of Duty. That just doesn't,
that by itself does not make you a hardcore
That
gamer.
doesn't-
But if you are if you game hardcore on Call of Duty, maybe it does.
yeah, like you said, enter the tournament and you do good and you dominate.
Playing
That's a
work towards
hardcore gamer, But if you're like a 12-year-old kid who plays every single day and that's all you play because you think it's cool to play Call of Duty, you're not a hardcore gamer.
Yeah.
You should really enjoy
That's just
the game.
not what you are.
It's about the game, not the status.
I'll be honest with you, and ladies and gentlemen, if you're a hardcore gamer and you play Call of Duty and nothing else,
You're not.
I wish you would prove it.
It's the most popular game franchise.
I love you all, but that's all we
doing
have
something
time
right.
for. That's all we have time for tonight, so we will wrap it up. This has been Alex Tudor with College Gamer Podcast, Episode 3.
And on that bombshell, it's time to go.
And Logan Sowers, no. Logan Sowers stole that line.
I stole that from Jeremy Clarkson on Top Gear that airs on BBC in the UK.
Right here.
All rights belong to them.
Right here. Thank you.
Okay, anyway.
I stole it.
So, we got Nick Tudor. Thank you for joining us, Nick, from Nick Stins Productions. Chris Harkins, thank you for joining us this week on College Gamer Podcast. And Logan Sowers, you're always beautiful. Thank you for coming back
That
again.
I am.
This has been Alex Tudor. I'm your host. See you next week.
Goodbye.